I, Fidel Alejandro Castro Ruz, was born on August 13, 1926 in Cuba. As an early child, I attended several schools before enrolling at the University of Havana, where I became interested in politics. After I graduated, I opened my own law office. 2 years later, I ran for a seat in the House of Representatives. However, the election never happened due to a government dispute, which made General Fulgencio Batista president. After legal means didn't overthrow Batista's new dictatorship, I took matters into my own hands by eventually forcing Batista to leave the country by defeating his 30,000-man army with my force of 800 men. After eventually taking power, I did many things to help Cuba, including building new school and medical facilities, abolishing legal discrimination, and advancing the causes of education and health care. Even with all of this, hundreds of thousands of Cubans left Cuba, mostly for the United States, all because I limited the amount of land a person could own and abolished private business. Through my rule, I had many differences with the United States, including events such as the Bay of Pigs and the Cuban Missile Crisis. I ruled Cuba as Prime Minister from 1959 to 1976, and as President from 1976 to 2008. I eventually handed over power to my brother in 2008. After I overthrew General Fulgencio Batista from presidency, the U.S. State Department and CIA tried to overthrow me from power. Why would they do that, you ask? Well, apparently the United States trusted General Batista, but they didn't trust me. The United States owned many businesses in Cuba, and Batista was okay with that. I, on the other hand, was not. As a nation, we need to be more independent and not let Americans own businesses in our country. So I took steps in reducing their ownership in Cuba. In response to this, the CIA started training some of the men who had fled Cuba to overthrow me. After this, I established diplomatic relations with the Soviet Union while they were at war against the United States in the Cold War. On April 17th, the United States invaded the southern shore of Cuba, the Bay of Pigs, and failed miserably. They failed to see our broadcast station near shore, which broadcasted across the country about the invasion. Before long, my troops had the invaders surrender with less than a day of fighting, killing 114 of the invaders and capturing 1,100 of them. The United States didn't attack again because I would have went to war with them and ultimately beat them, of course.